Number 5. Cheap nail polish brands. Everyone ignores, but they're absolute gold mines. Here's something the beauty industry would rather you not think about too hard. The gap in quality between a $2 bottle of nail polish and a $12 bottle is a lot smaller than the gap in price. A huge chunk of what you pay for at the high end is the label, the packaging, the marketing, and the counter it sits on, not the pigment in the bottle. And once you know which cheap brands actually get the formula right, you can build a manicure that looks like a salon did it for the price of a vending machine snack. So let's go through 5 budget nail polish brands that most people walk right past, ranked by value, and break down exactly what each one is good at, where it falls short, and which expensive brand it quietly embarrasses. A quick ground rule before we start, because it's the single most important thing in this entire video. Almost every cheap polish performs dramatically better with a real base coat and a real top coat. The base coat gives the color something to grip so it doesn't chip in a day, and the top coat is where the shine and the durability actually come from. Skip those 2 steps and even good budget polish looks cheap. Add them and a $1 color can outlast a bottle that costs 10 times as much. Keep that in mind for every single brand on this list, because it's the difference between why does this look terrible and wait, that's $1? Let's start the countdown at number 5. Number 5 is LA Colors. This is the brand you've seen 100 times and never once considered. Usually hanging on a rack at the dollar store, at Dollar Tree, at the discount aisle, often for right around $1 a bottle. And I want to be honest about what $1 gets you, because managing expectations is the whole game here. Straight out of the bottle, the formula tends to be on the thin side, which means you're almost always doing 2 or 3 coats to get it opaque. That's the tax you pay at this price. But here's why it earns its spot. The sheer range is absurd. Glitters, chromes, neons, jellies, plus a whole ecosystem of cheap nail art tools, striping brushes, and nail art pens that other brands charge a premium for. If you're the kind of person who wants to try a wild trend shade you'll wear exactly once for a party, or you're learning nail art and you're going to make mistakes, paying salon prices to experiment is a waste. LA Colors is where you experiment for free, essentially. It's not the polish you build your everyday rotation on, it's the polish you play with. And at $1, with a good top coat over it, the value is genuinely hard to argue with. Number 4 is Sinful Colors. Step up to around $2 a bottle, usually found at Walgreens and Target, and you get one of the best color selections in the entire drugstore. Full stop. Sinful Colors has been quietly putting out trendy, on-season shades for years, with a glossy finish that, with a top coat, can hold up close to a week. Now, I'll give you the honest caveat that comes up in every review, including from people who love the brand. The quality can be inconsistent bottle to bottle. Some shades, especially the darker creams and the reds, are fantastic and go on smooth. Some of the lighter or more pastel ones can be streaky and need an annoying third coat. That inconsistency is exactly why people overlook it. But when you know which shade families to reach for, this is a brand that competes directly with polishes charging 3 or 4 times as much for basically the same thing in a fancier bottle. For $2, being able to chase every color trend of the season is a gold mine, and most people just don't bother to look. Number 3 is where it gets interesting, and it's China Glaze. Now this one's a slightly different play, because it's not a dollar store brand and you're usually looking at somewhere in the $6 to $8 range, at Sally Beauty or online. So why is it on a cheap brands everyone ignores list? Because it's a genuine professional salon brand that regular shoppers never think to buy, and it costs meaningfully less than the salon names they do buy. This is the crucial point. China Glaze goes head-to-head with OPI on pigment quality, on that smooth, self-leveling formula, on dry time and durability, and OPI routinely runs $11 or more a bottle. China Glaze gives you very close to the same salon-grade result for several dollars less every single time. The color library is enormous and genuinely iconic in the nail world, with collections nail artists have obsessed over for years. If LA Colors is where you experiment, and Sinful Colors is where you chase trends, China Glaze is where you buy the workhorse shades you're going to wear on repeat, the perfect red, the everyday nude, the deep vampy fall color, and you pay professional quality money without paying premium label money. Most casual buyers walk right past it because they've never heard the name in a commercial. That's the definition of an ignored gold mine. Before we get to the top 2, this is the moment to be honest with yourself about how you actually use nail polish, because it changes which of these brands is right for you. If you paint your nails twice a year, none of this matters much, and you should just grab whatever's cheapest. But if you do your nails every week or two, the math flips completely. The person doing frequent manicures is the person getting quietly overcharged the hardest by premium brands because they're buying the most bottles. That's the person these 2 final brands are really for. The regular repainter who's been trained to think cheap means bad and has been paying a premium tax on a habit for years without ever testing whether the budget stuff would actually let them down. For most everyday shades, it won't. Number 2 is Essence. If you've wandered through Ulta or Target and seen these tiny, almost toy-like bottles in a huge, colorful display for $2 or $3, that's Essence, a European brand that has quietly become one of the best-kept secrets in cheap beauty. The bottles are small, and that's the honest catch. You're getting less product than a standard bottle, so the per-ounce value isn't quite as wild as the sticker suggests. But the formula punches so far above its price, it's almost silly. The gel look and high shine lines give you a glossy, plumped finish that people assume came from a much more expensive bottle. It dries reasonably fast, the brushes are decent, and the brand is cruelty-free, which at this price is genuinely rare. Essence is the brand you hand to someone who insists cheap polish always looks cheap, because the moment it's on their nails, they don't believe you about the price. For someone building an affordable everyday collection who still wants that expensive-looking shine, it's one of the smartest few dollars in the entire drugstore. And number 1, the absolute goldmine is Wet n Wild, specifically the Megalast line. This is the one. Wet n Wild polishes run somewhere between about $1 and $3. They are available basically everywhere, from drugstores to grocery stores to Amazon, and the Megalast line in particular has developed an almost cult following among people who actually test this stuff obsessively. The reason is simple: it is genuinely chip-resistant in a way that embarrasses its price tag. With a proper base and top coat, Megalast can hold up for days without chipping, performance that goes toe-to-toe with polishes costing 5 to 10 times as much. The color range is big and consistently on trend. The formula is usually opaque in 2 coats, and the brand is vegan and cruelty-free on top of it. There is no other polish on this list where the gap between what you pay and what you get is this enormous. If you take one name away from this entire video, make it Megalast. It is the clearest proof that expensive and good stopped being the same thing in the nail aisle a long time ago. So that's the 5. LA Colors for playing and experimenting at $1, Sinful Colors for chasing every trend at $2, China Glaze for salon-quality workhorse shades at a fraction of OPI, Essence for that expensive-looking shine for a couple of bucks, and Wet n Wild Megalast as the outright value champion of the whole drugstore. Here's the thing to sit with. Every one of these has been sitting on a shelf you've walked past for years, wearing plain packaging, next to a brand that costs 4 times as much and does the same job. The premium nail brands are betting that you'll assume the price tag is telling you something true about the quality. Grab a bottle of Megalast, a decent base coat, and a good top coat. Do one hand with it and one hand with your usual expensive brand, and let your own nails settle the argument a week later. That's the only review that actually counts.